Bladesxonly. So I decided to play this somewhat of a racer, and I decided, hey, you know, why not do a custom setup for New Hampshire? So that's why I'm coming on here. I wanted to put this as a video, but again, it's 60 seconds or something, or 60 minutes, and I know I'm gonna talk more than 60 minutes. So I just decided, why not put this as a stream, right? Okay, so I call them dampers. Okay, these shock settings, I call them dampers. I don't call them shocks. I just call them dampers.
What that means is,
so you got the left bump, the left rebound, the right bump, and the right rebound. This is for New Hampshire. Okay, so the front is corner entry. Okay, and then the rear is corner exit. Okay, so as you're going into the corner, what breaks in first? Your front. Your front of your car breaks in first, and then when you're coming out of corner exit, it's the rear. So these are the dampers. I call them dampers, guys. I don't really call them like shock settings. Okay, I call them dampers. Now, I put 13.7. Now you can fuck around with these dampers here. You know, even like you don't have to actually match the front dampers, and as you can see, I matched the top ones here. You can actually, for better corner exits, you can actually fuck around with the rear dampers here. You don't have to actually match them with the things. But again, I don't know how unstable the car will be, so I just went safe and kept it on the same as the front. The weight settings, again, this is what I was talking about in my other video. So what I was talking about, guys, when I was talking about how stock cars are heavy and they're hard to turn. So as you can see, I got the front weight at 52.2%, and then the wedge I got at 50.7%, and then the front ride height I got at the lowest setting, 4,000, for both front and rear. Now you can fuck around and put this up to like 5,000, or even max it out and put it to 6,000, or even fuck around with different, you know, combinations. But I just thought that the front ride height I want lower to the ground, because I want that downforce. Now I don't know, guys, if this game has downforce. I doubt it does, but just for that, I just for the downforce, if it does. I don't feel anything with downforces, but just for that, I just put it at 4,000. The spring settings, which I call them suspensions. For the suspension, for the left spring, I got 1,100 pounds. And then on the right spring, I got 1,200 pounds. For the rear left spring, I got at 480 pounds. 480 pounds. And for the right spring, I maxed it out. Now, if you feel like if you test this setting out and you feel like your right front is burning out, like your tires are burning out, which I will get to that, and that is key. It's very important. But if you feel like the game is burning out your tire, your right front, you can actually build you know, bump this down a little bit, and even bump the left spring down, maybe to like 410, maybe even 430 would do, you know. But I just thought that 600 and 500 were the best for the rear. Or not the right front, I'm sorry, for the rear. I'm sorry, guys. I just thought 600 pounds was good for the rear. Tire pressure. Okay, this is what I'm talking about with this game, and it doesn't have good tire pressure. It doesn't have track temperatures. So that means you can use the same setup over and over again, and it will still work. So as you can see, on the left front pressure, I got 12 PSI, and then on the right front, I got 30 PSI. For the rear, still the same. For the right rear pressure, I got it 27 PSI. I just thought that this PSI was good for this track, and I'm gonna tell you why. I was able to go like 90. Okay, guys, I got this game, like my setting for my tire wear, I got it for like normal wear. So I tested it out on New Hampshire, and I went the consistent lap. Like, I mean, not consistent, but I went the entire time without pitting. You know, like I didn't like, you know, even when it said, hey, your tires are going bald, I ignored it and I didn't pit because I wanted to see how many laps I can get with the worn tires, and I wanted to see if my tire wear will fall more than my fuel. So if I had to, like, what would happen? Fuel or tires? What would go first, your fuel or your tires on this map, on this track? So I wanted to see what would happen. Well, I was able to, my tire wear was able to last longer than my fuel. So I had to, I was on low fuel. I had to change my fuel. My fuel went out before my tire wear went out. Okay, and I was able, like the right sides were like, I don't know, like 17-18%, and then the right rear was 10%. So over the long run, if there's like your right rear will go out more than your right rear will wear, your back right will wear more than the right front will. See what I'm saying? And I just think it's a great combination, depending if you play with cautions. Now, if you play with cautions, you really don't have to worry about that because you don't have to you won't have a green flag pit stop. So you're going to be constantly on fresh tires. But your right rear will go out more than your right front with this tire pressure. That's why I like it. Okay. Miscellaneous settings for the left camber, I got it at -2.5, and for the right front camber, I got it at -2. Okay, now this is very important. Why I have 2 minuses. I just think, guys, for a stock car, you want, the reason why I have the left camber at 2.5 minus and I have it at minus, I just think, I don't know, it just helps you grip the corner a little bit more better because your tires are like flat to the ground. You know, all the plus camber does, I know in real life, I'm going by real life, so I don't know if it affects this game. But in real life, when you have plus camber, it just helps you steer better. Like it just helps you steer better. Like it's less wear on the tires when you got on the left front. You notice that in this game, like your right front goes out more than, like your right side will go out more than your left side. You don't want that actually. You want your tires to be neutral and stay on the ground. You want all 4 tires to stay on the ground. Like flat on the ground, and that's what the minus camber does. The only difference is that in minus camber it'll burn up your tires a lot more, so your left side tires will burn out, but it keeps it balanced. It keeps the left and the right front, and your right side balanced as far as tire wear goes. You notice how on the default setup, when you're always there, your right side will burn out more than your left side, and it happened today. My right front my right side of my tires, my front tire, my right front and my right rear was burning out more than my left side, but my left side was also wearing out just as much, but not as much. And that's what you want. And I felt great traction. I felt great traction, like, because I knew my tires were flat to the ground. Okay, now again, I'm going to say that again. It is very important to understand what I'm talking about with the camber. Okay, I don't know how camber works in this game. Okay, I think it has to do with speed too. But I know it has effects with your tire wear. Okay, and it does. I know in real life it does. And that's where I come from. I come from very simulation racers. I know how these stuff works. So that's why I think stock cars are better with minus, to keep everything balanced and to keep your tires flat to the ground. Front sway bar I got at 1,675 inches. Okay, so it's just to hug the corner, and it's just so you won't be drifting up. Okay, because that's what this fucking game likes to do. When you're in a corner or whatever, and you're on the throttle, and you got full throttle, you got your foot on the full throttle, and you actually got it pedal to the metal. This fucking game likes to drift you up. So again, that's where the front sway bar comes, and I call it the anti-roll bar. The anti-roll bar. The anti-roll bar I got at 1,675 inches. The rear is none. The left track bar I got at 11.13 inches, and the right track bar for 13 inches. Again, just for better rotation. brake bias is a big, I think it's a huge thing in New Hampshire, okay? And how you have your setup here. You want to be able to brake before the corner. So if you're coming up off the straightaway and you're going into the corner, you want to lay off the gas and then you want to brake a little bit. But you don't want to, you know, brake oversteer. You know, so I just think 75% is pretty good. Gorilla tape, I don't think it works in this game, guys. I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't think Gorilla tape works. So again, I just have it at the default level 35%. Steering lock I got at 10 degrees, and then the steering offset I got at 50. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you guys something, and I don't think this is the steering offset. Okay, but when I was testing this out and I was on the straightaway, I felt like my car wanted to drift. Like when I was going straight on the straightaway, I didn't use the analog because I used my controller actually. I didn't use my wheel. I used my controller. But I didn't move my analog stick, and it wanted to drift towards the left, and I think that's the camber, and it is the camber. So I kind of had to jerk my steering wheel. I kind of had to jerk my analog stick, like kind of tap it towards the left a little bit. Not really force it, just kind of like tap it. Like kind of put your thumb on it, kind of like tap it towards the wall. And I was near the wall. So, and I didn't hit the wall. So it all depends, guys. I just think it's more of a challenge when you do that, because when you go in a real car, like say you go in your real car, right, in your driveway, and you start up that bad boy, then you reverse it, and then you're on the road, and then you put it in drive, and then you go off, right? Then you're on a straightaway. In real life, you're on a straightaway, and you keep your wheel straight, right? The car's not gonna go straight. It's gonna drift. You gotta like recorrect it in small movements, like in a real car. You gotta recorrect and go straight. And I just think that this game does that a little bit, especially if you got negative. I think it has to do with the camber that I'm using. But it's a real challenge because you're gonna be drifting. You don't drift that much, but you'll notice it. It's like a little drift. But I just think that it's like kind of like real life, and I like that. I like a challenge. I don't like in racers. I don't like to be on a straightaway and I don't have to move my wheel or my analog stick. I like a challenge, and I think that's a big learning curve if to do that, because that's like real life. I mean, you know, you're not gonna stay straight and just hold your wheel straight on a straightaway. So I just think, especially it helps you from spinning out. Like there's been I want to say again with this setup. The game wanted a snappiness, and like I said, guys, I still think that this game has track randomness. I still say it, because it happened again with a custom setup. The game wanted to snap me, but I didn't let it happen. I kind of like, what I did was I kind of like put the foot on the throttle, but I kind of drag brake. I put my foot on the brake, and kind of like, I didn't press really down on it a little bit. I kind of like tapped it, and it kind of recorrected it and stayed straight, and I was able to do that. But I got consistent lap times. Like I guess the goal was like 29.15, something like that. I would consistently stay in the 29s, and that's all you really want. So in real life, with this setup right here, in real life, because I tested it out in this game in the lap times, in real life this is a top 10 car. It's a top 10 car because I was able to stay with the goal time. I didn't get the goal, but I was able to stay in that 29. You never want to fall out of the goal. Like if I had, like, say the goal was like 28 or 23 or even like a 39, or 46 on the speedway. You always want to stay in that goal. You never want to stay out of that. You never want to fall out of that. You always want to stay up there. If you can stay up there, like a 46 or something like that, and say that's the goal time, and you can do 46 something in consistent laps every lap, you got a top 10 car in real life. Now this is a big thing, the gear ratios, the gear settings. I think this gear setting that I got works absolutely fucking perfect. Excuse my language. But as first gear, I got it at 350, second gear 270, third gear 175. I wish you could mess around with the fourth gear, but for some odd reason these developers they've graded out. You can't touch it. So whatever. And then you see I got the rear end ratio at 4.33, so that's also good. The reason why I have it like that, guys, is because when you're on a straightaway on this track, when you're on a straightaway, you're always going to hit your top speed, and then when you get off the straightaway, like when you kind of hit that corner to go into dive bomb into that corner, your needle is going to stay in the middle, and then when you come out of corner exit, you're gonna be on the straightaway again, because you're gonna go up near that wall just to get that top speed again, and then you always get, it's like I said, you're never gonna lose top speed. You're always gonna stay consistent, and that's all you really want. And again, that's why I have the gear settings here like this. But again, guys, this has been Bladesxonly from On the Top Lane, and this is my new Hampshire setup. So you guys, whoever's checking out my channel, test this out and see if you're getting consistently lap times the way I was getting them. But I was doing it differently. I was staying up top on the straightaway near the wall, then I would break down low. So, but these are the clicks, and yeah, so test out my setup and see if you like it. This has been Bladesxonly, and have yourself a good night and stay safe.